Okie dokie. All right, I think it's recording. Yep. All right, so we're going to talk about the CRM again. We made some awesome progress on some cool new features and stuff that nobody else has. Again, this is all experimental. Don't try this at home. We're going to log in. All right. In my previous video, we talked about business objects um, and how to construct them, how to get data into the CRM, how to um, uh, map or allow the AI to map an input file to your business object, create new business objects for you, assign the data types. This thing will even automatically assign um, multi-select and drop-down boxes and things based on the data type that you submit. So basically, you can take a multi-select values and put them pipe limited in your CSV, and it will automatically update and maintain all the different possible values that you could select on that business object. The same thing with the drop-down. It will take all of the distinct values in a particular column that you've ever received. So let's say a new status shows up in one of your imports, you can check a little box and have it automatically add to the list of potential states that you can pick in that drop down box. It's not important. It's not the cool stuff yet. So here uh, we have, I don't even know where to start. Let's start with integrations because that's cool, but it's not even the coolest thing. So right here, I have a Office 365 integration that I built, and how that works is I provided right here in the config my credentials. I had an AI agent write the script to connect to 365 using the right protocols, the right port, the right endpoint. This script takes input parameters for the subject and the body or the HTML of the email. And because we now have this script, we can forever and always send an email via 365 using my configured email account. And this now is a reusable component that we can use when we create automations. What's an automation? An automation is a similar concept, but instead of a single script, we can create a series of scripts and we put them into a job. So I'm going to take a look at enriched emails. Um, Actually, I'm going to make it simpler. I'm just going to do email test. What I did is in our config, we defined a goal for the AI, a target email. This is who we're going to send the email to just for testing. Um, an integration ID, which we built that email integration. So now we're going to make an automation that leverages that integration of sending an email. So it's going to reference it. Um, and if you look at the job, it's easier to understand. There's multiple steps. First step is we're going to fetch the leads. Second step, we're going to send the emails. Now the AI agent made these steps. It wrote the scripts and it assigned the scripts to each step, and each step passes data from one step to the next, right? So the send lead emails can reference the data that was captured in the fetch leads. So if we take a look, I can see that I have a production script and a test script. Every step you get to assign two different scripts, one for testing, one for production. What to do if it throws an error. I haven't had an error yet. Once it passes the initial testing for the AI, it's not a problem. So scripts, fetch leads. Here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to take some JSON data from our leads, and we're just going to put those in the memory. And here at this step, you could define any logic. You could say, oh, grab anybody who has a last contact date greater than 3 days or whatever, right? No big deal. Um, then the next part is that we have the send email. Let's look at the send email script. Look at the code. All it does is it constructed manually this email template using this data.email. This is the data that was passed from one script to another, part of that data object, data.phone, data.company, and it just constructed an email the way I wanted it to. And then API post, API integrations, and there's the integration ID for our Office 365 integration. So it's going to take this information, it's going to post it to that endpoint now, and that integration is going to come into play. Beautiful. If we want to change something about the email or the actual, like we're going to use a different email account, then what we can do is just, we don't have to change the automation script, we just go and change the integration. Piece of cake. Here's where things get cool. We're going to jump over to email templates. I created an email template. There's some people that I know. I just put them in a template for testing. And let me show you how this works. You have your AI chat. The AI chat produces code. That code can be seen down here. I'll move this here so you can see it a little bit better. It's producing HTML. And the cool thing about this HTML is we can include parameters and reference just like a mail merge, right? So we have a template. We can drag and drop these onto the canvas where we want them. We can reference them just like this. And when we select it up here, a object, a business object to use, the fields that are associated with that business object automatically get populated here. So these are just what you imported and what you wanted to use for your business. So we have this first amazing functionality, which is we're going to use AI to generate the HTML for our email template. Look how beautiful it is. It's going to generate this email template, and it works like just any old email templating tool in your marketing software, which is awesome. However, it gets better. We have what's called a dynamic block. We can create dynamic blocks. And notice we give it a name and we give it an AI prompt. What this is we're going to take that parameter and we're going to plug it in the email, and instead of giving it a field, we're going to put a prompt in there. When the automation processes the email, it knows that when it sees the dynamic block, it runs that prompt using the data for that specific email against that specific customer and produces a dynamically generated email. It produces a dynamically generated, customized message for that particular recipient based on the information we know about them. It's absolutely brilliant. Once we do the email template, now all we got to do in our automation, let's see if this is the one. Fetch run the template, send email. Yep. Okay. In our automation, what we're going to do is we're going to fetch some car dealers. We're going to render the template and send email. And this here render template step, it will dynamically put in to AI generated content specific for that recipient.